Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Soul Talk with Cash. This is where we take control of our thoughts and tailor them to make lasting positive impacts on our lives. In today's video, I will be sharing with you how I changed my mindset to overcome the fear of death using my 5 favorite scriptures. The world is in a crisis, and we can see this from all the reports of famine, diseases, wars, and the upsurge of crime and violence. The hearts of men have become cold and evil when criminals can kill mothers, children, and the disabled and the elderly. We are in a very serious situation. As a result of these things, people's hearts are failing them because of fear. Fear about the calamities that are coming up on the world. As much as the world is turning upside down, people don't really want to die. They don't want to lose their lives. Life is still precious and still beautiful and something to be cherished. But what is fear? This is an unpleasant, often strong emotion caused by the anticipation of the awareness of harm, either physical, emotional, or physiological. Fear may be triggered by threats, whether the threat is real or imagined. So, in other words, you may be contributing to your own level of distress and heart failure because of how you manage fear. Fear has the power to paralyze us and to prevent us from reaching our truest potential. It can prevent us from living a peaceful and fulfilling life. What happens when we are fearful? A small organ in the middle of our brains called the amygdala immediately starts working in order to protect us. It alerts our nervous system, which sets our body's fear response into motion. Stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline are released. Your blood pressure and your heart rate immediately increases. All of these cause us to either face the fear or flee from the fearful situation. I was afraid of leaving my windows open. I was afraid of walking late nights. I was afraid of the possibility of being held up or being in an unpleasant situation like a speeding motor vehicle, a hold-up robbery situation, afraid of anything that may threaten my life. And remember what I discussed earlier, the fear of some potential harm. But when we talk about everything that is happening in our country, in our world, we may have reason to be fearful. But how do we deal with this? Assessing myself, I realized that the bottom line was the fear of death. I came across this acronym, and it is face everything and rise. And that's the acronym for fear. Face everything and rise. And it was after I assessed myself and finding out that all of those fear factors really boil down to the fear of death. Was I going to face it and rise above my fear? Okay, so this fear of dying, how I overcame this. The change happened for me when I acknowledged what I was truly afraid of, and I challenged my fear and adjusted my mindset. That was when my actions followed. A few years ago, I was traveling to work and I was talking to God about my life and how my life would end up, and about His promise of living forever with Him. And I started crying and I started facing my fear and claiming all His promises over my life. Here are the 5 scriptures that I used in altering my mindset and eventually overcoming the fear of death. I knew I wasn't supposed to be doubting God's words. And if I had faith, then I would believe all the scriptures without doubting. These scriptures that I'm going to be sharing with you, it's not that I didn't know them before, but I started claiming them over my life. And the first is 2 Timothy 1 verse 7. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. The second one is 1 John 4 verse 18. There is no fear in love, but perfect love drives out fear. Because fear has to do with punishment. The one who fears is not made perfect in love. Anytime I feel fearful in whatever situation, I run to these two scriptures to remind myself that I have the love of God within me, and He gives me the power to be an overcomer. So I do not need to be afraid. If I get fearful about the crime and the violence and anticipating that something bad is going to happen to me, I use the next three scriptures, and these are Matthew 10 verse 28. It says, do not be afraid of those who can kill the body but cannot kill the soul. Rather, be afraid of the one who can destroy both soul and body into hell. The second one of the three is John 14 verse 3. And I go to prepare a place for you. I will come back and take you to be with me, that you may be where I am. And the third one of these final three texts is Revelation 21 verse 4. God will take away all their tears. There will be no more death, no more sorrow, no more crying, no more pain. All the old things have passed away. These are the scriptures that I hold on to. I knew about these scriptures before, but when I connected with them and I accepted them, that's when I overcame the fear of death. When I truly believed that my life was in the hands of God and nothing can happen to me without His knowledge. Also, when I allowed myself to be secure in Him, I have peace of mind and my mind was at ease. God has become my salvation and my fortress, and I accept that He loves me and that my life is in His control. I don't know who wanted to hear this today, but I hope that this video will serve as an encouragement for you and that this video will help you overcome your fear, whatever fear it is. Before you go, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and turn on your notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be the first to know. Until next time, I will see you in the next one.